that just joined us, I was actually clapping to actually start the recording so that our editor would be able to marry up both tracks of audio. But Anthony found that very funny. I think it was probably because it's such an antiquated thing.
Well, yeah, and the clapper and all the I mean, it's certainly how they used to do it. And there's the whole thing in the movies of going whack like this, which of course actors just love, and then of course anybody who's actually, knows how to do their job, they come in and they kind of go very quietly. It's just as you said, allow them to sync up sound on both the all the technical aspects so that, we don't look like a bad kung fu movie.
Yeah, isn't that funny? It's just
Yeah.
So what have you been up to? You've got last time we chatted, there were so many things we never got to. And I wanted to sort of run over those. We talked about the films with Jet Li. We talked about the film, obviously you did Catwoman with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, she's been all over the internet lately with our Batman Returns, which has been very nice.
Really? In what sense?
Yeah. Well, I guess about 2 weeks ago, I think she may have posted, or somebody posted. It was it's the final. It's actually not the final scene. We shot the final scene first, as one does in the movies, the Penguin's Lair. First thing she did was wrap Christopher Walken around the neck, practically, because she'd gotten that good. I was very proud of her.
She got Christopher Walken around the neck.
Yeah, and I mean that was the whole idea, and this is what I love to do, and this is what we do. We train to actually be able to do something. So filming it's pretty damned easy, but getting somebody to that level takes time. But she saw I was trying to give her another vocabulary, for her portrayal, which I thought was incredible. I think she's the best thing in the movie. But she really studied hard. I trained her for like 6 weeks. Our schedule worked out that way. And then on set, I continued to train her. And we would literally walk into a situation and look at it and take the adversity and turn it into opportunity. And so like the first one was the Penguin's Lair, and terrible conditions because they had every industrial air conditioner in town, like the ones on rooftops, over at the studios at Warner Brothers, and then one studio at Universal, which has the deep pool. That was the Penguin's Lair, because they had a guy coming from the ceiling, as the penguin, and doing this high fall into water, which he said was a little difficult in a fat suit, but there you go. But so, it's cold. They've heated everything down to 34 degrees so that the actors would have breath. Which is better than the old thing. If you recall, the first one they tried putting dry ice in actors' mouths in cages, and when the actors couldn't talk, so they took the cages out of their mouth and then they burned their mouths. So we have come forward in technology. But anyway, Tim for the look, Tim Burton for the look of it, wanted everything cooled down. So, all the crews looks like they're at Vail or something. But so this first day, it is 34 degrees, and the double for Christopher Walken has come out of the water, so he's made the floor entirely wet, which of course makes the whip entirely wet. And whips don't particularly like to be wet. They're like cats, as metaphorically appropriate. And her first shot is grabbing Christopher Walken around the neck as he tries to get away, and it's a beautiful, lovely shot. It's facing the two of them, and you can see her behind him, and the whip just comes out and wraps him around the throat, and his face goes blah, and then she yanks him back and starts the scene. And she's keeping Batman at bay on one side and then Christopher Walken on the other, so it really spoke for her skills. And then we had the fight on the rooftop. We had they captured the Ice Princess sequence, and that was one where I showed up for the rehearsal, and Tim Burton says, "I don't think there's any whip stuff in this, Anthony." I said, "Yes, sir." And I went over and sat in a corner and watched, the rehearsal. And Michelle, Batman comes in, sees the girl. Suddenly, Catwoman appears, cuts her free, tosses her out of the chair, throws the chair at Batman. Grabs the girl and says, "Girl talk." And after the rehearsal, I had this kind of professional relationship with Michelle, where she appreciated my opinions and thoughts. And I said, if you have a whip in one hand and a chair in the other, that says lion tamer the world over, no matter what language you speak. She goes, Tim, Anthony has this idea. So we do, and what we did was she ended up swinging on her whip, cutting the girl free, dumping her out, cracking the whip, throwing the chair, cracking the whip, and enveloping the ice princess around the waist as she's trying to get away. Pulls her into a two-shot and says, "Girl talk," and they exit. We rehearsed it twice and shot it, and we were done. We were able to actually create stuff. But what was on the internet was earlier in the film when she's first introduced as Catwoman after crazy Selena Kyle has kind of gone off the end. She comes into a department store which belongs to Max Schreck. She's going to blow it up. But first, there's these three mannequins. And she comes in and she undoes her whip and she looks at them. And I had given her this bit of choreography. Do the first one kind of, like a backhand, just casual. And then line up the next two and crack and then go all the way around your body and crack out. And it was very beautiful. She spun all the way around. And then she took the whip and stretched it out and then skip roped out of the scene. That was her idea. She had told me when we were training that her father was a boxer, so I think it was an homage to her dad at that point. But we did the whole thing in one take, and that's what everybody's going, oh, one take. And she'd also put up a little shot of her because she found her whip, and she's cracking, and she still got it. So that was kind of cool.
People don't understand how much time it takes sometimes to put scenes together and how they actually get put together. You mentioned, how originally it was like Tim Burton, said, there's nothing for you to do in this scene, and then all of a sudden, coming up with creative stuff, then there is. And if you've done that rehearsal prior, which obviously she had, she could pick up and adjust something on set, and a whip's not easy to do that.
Well, and that's what made all the difference. I mean, and you'll understand this, and what most people don't.